Welcome to Blackboard Ultra. What you see in front of you is the Blackboard Learn Ultra base navigation page. This base navigation page is where you'll be able to see all of your classes. As the transition to base navigation is made in January of 2024, this will be the landing page for all of your classes when you sign in. The purpose of this video is to show you a little bit more about some key features of the course that you are about to explore. Specifically, this course, or this video, and the course that you are looking at is this direct transfer course. When we as a school district transition to base navigation in early January, the way that all of our courses will transfer over is what you see in this course. Notice some key things here. This side navigation bar still exists as it did in Blackboard Learn Classic. All of these items that you see on the side are still the way they were from when I transferred them. So this is not a class that was specifically created for this, nor has this class really been modified at all after making the transition. This is a class that I taught last year that I have just transferred into that base navigation state. It is still in that Blackboard Learn Classic look. This is what teachers will see in January when we make the transition to base navigation. Some key things that I would just like to point out to you before you enter and start exploring are just some spaces that you might want to look so you can see some of the features that you might be used to before, and where some things that are a little bit heavier builds so you have some ideas instead of having to search through the entire course. So you can see my landing page, that Welcome to 8B is still the same. We have embedded items, we have text, we have images. You can see up at the very top, the building features are very similar, if not the same, to what you saw in Blackboard Learn Classic. To build those items, images, files, videos, assignments, all of that remains in this section as it did in Learn Classic. A couple places to take a look at if you're looking for a little bit more meatier content creation. The later social studies units, everything from an expanding nation into the modern nation emerges, is going to have a little bit more build out to it. So for example, I'm in the Union Challenge, you can see that there are a variety of different items built in here. Everything from embedded videos to PDFs, embedded Google Forms, Google assignments, links. One thing I will note is that these links are currently invalid because of the transition that I have had to make, not necessarily because of the transition to Ultra. We are currently working in a demo site that does not have the same assignment link protocol as our actual test site does. You can see that we have our videos in here all the way through. All of the other resources that were previously there before making the transition to base navigation. One thing to note as we are wrapping up phase 1 of the transition to Blackboard Learn Ultra is that as we move to Blackboard Learn Ultra entirely in phase 2, these classes will exist in classic mode until the 2025-2026 school year, meaning we have designed a very long runway for us to continue to learn, provide professional development, and support to both students and teachers as we build out in this new learning environment. Welcome to Blackboard Learn Ultra. In the last section, we talked about the direct transfer course, what happens when we transition everyone over to base navigation in January. We looked at how these build items are very similar to what we've been used to in Blackboard Learn Classic. We have remained with our navigation bar, and you've been able to explore how some of these main items, like embedded items, embedded slides, text boxes, YouTube videos, and assignments are able to transfer over. What we're looking at in this class and in this video that you are currently in is what happens when we convert. So you can see I'm currently in that original class that has been just directly transferred. And what you're going to see is this orange and blue little pencil button, the Experience New Learn. When the teacher chooses to select this button, either after some pre-learning done throughout the 23-24 school year or after June 1st, 2024, when all teachers are given the ability to do this. When this button is clicked, it will essentially take and temporarily convert this class to an Ultra model. At this point, teachers are able to navigate back and forth without having students present in the class to determine what way or what things they might need to change in their process. However, when a teacher does say, keep this and fully convert to Ultra, there is no going back to this Classic Learn class. So let's go ahead and take a look at what some of these big features are as just that very basic, once we hit that pencil icon to convert, what changes? So you can see some of the big changes here are the side navigation is entirely gone. Up at the top, you have a few different areas that you can check that are similar to side navigation menu items before, but are also a little different. These are more of those whole course content features. You can see we have continued to keep the big banner up at the top. When we look where the navigation bar used to be, what we have are details about the course. We have the ability to look at progress tracking, and students are able to see this progress tracking as well. We can see the instructor, roster, attendance from the teacher end, as well as managing other features in this section. When we look to the actual content itself, everything that was on the side navigation is now currently in the center navigation. This is more of a stream model or more of a build in the center kind of option. You can see that everything that was previously a content area or a content page before has transitioned over to a folder. So where we drop in is different for sure. When we look at that Welcome to 8B, you can see that instead of having that first page with all of the images and colors, everything is very streamlined. So now as we look through, you can see here is that message. It is still there. Here is the image. It is still there. However, these things are not all in one same spot. When I click on the folders, they open and close. And again, as you are going through and exploring and navigating this course, some places to look would be these bigger items here, such as the Union Challenge, where you can see different features and how they have directly transferred in. To show a little bit more in depth about what this transition looks like, specifically in that Union Challenged video, or in that Union Challenged folder. When we open it up, we can see all of these tools were still there. Our unit overview, which was once the top part of a single page, is now its own document. As we keep looking, the lesson slides, which were again part of a single page, are now their own document, but they are transferred in. As well, we have that Google form that is now its own page, its own document. Both assignments, again, are still here. The link is still here and does still take you out to the outside website. But notice that everything has kind of opened up and they are all individual items now. Now, what you see in this course is without any modification in terms of building to that new Ultra mindset and how we would consider designing, building, and creating our courses moving forward to ensure the best experience for students and the best use of access and this learning management system. Welcome to Blackboard Ultra. This is the last video with our last style of course to be looking at. So if you have already open this video, that is telling me that you are currently in this rebuilt Social Studies and Science Ultra course. At this point, you would have already looked at the direct transfer course and how things will transition for teachers in January 2023. You will also have already looked at how the direct conversion course has gone, as we see that the direct transfer over all of the content is still there. However, the build is not necessarily conducive to student learning. So before I show you what a model or an example of a rebuilt Ultra course is using the same content and materials that are in here, I did want to highlight some of the building features that are going to be available for teachers and how and where these features are located. So notice this little plus sign here in the middle will actually appear between every item that you have in your center stream. The building features in Blackboard Learn Ultra are very drag and drop and very modernized in terms of how we are more familiar with using and utilizing building features. When we click the little plus button, we're given a pop-up menu of different features that we're able to use. The most common one will be the Create When you click on the Create, you get a variety of different items and tools that you're able to create and use. Learning modules are going to be the key function, and I'll show you what those look like here in a moment, followed by some foldering, some documents. This is where a bulk of the content that you might be creating will be housed. This is also where you can embed videos, slideshows, documents, and other features. This is really the bulk of the tools here. We also have the ability to have live access Google Documents, links. Your assessments and assignments are all located in the same space, and then a variety of those participation and engagement tools. As Blackboard Learn Ultra continues to develop, we may see more tools connected in here. For example, other LTI tools that we might have seen previously in Blackboard Learn Classic, we will likely see making the transition at some point over to this Blackboard Learn Ultra. We also might see some other integrations, and we will keep you as up to date as possible as those are made available to us. So just a quick look as to what it looks like with the possibility of a rebuilt course. So this is the exact same course that you saw before, except for the time was taken to actually rebuild and reorganize it so that it met more of the design components of the Blackboard Learn Ultra model, or how it is best designed here. So you can see everything that was in the center. I have changed from the folders to a learning module. The benefit of the learning module is it gives me that title, it gives me a section for small text, and then it provides an image, allowing the course to be more visual once again. When we open it up, it still drops down. I have the ability to keep my folders. I have the ability for those documents and the ability to add in images and other tools. So if we look at that welcome message once again, you can see the image exists here with the text and image from previous. They are now combined into one section. As well, we have something like the foldering for the science overview. You can see that when I click on the folder, it drops open still, and I'm able to keep things organized in a variety of ways without cluttering up the main page. I can minimize these things and close them back up. As I scroll through, you can see that all of these units that were there just as folders now have very visual options and opportunities for students. You can see just on this video, you won't be able to see in your demo student account, but I have this ability to continue to hide things from students. So if I am not ready for them to see them and I would like the stream to be a little shorter for them, or the center navigation to be a little shorter, I am able to hide things that we are either not to yet or we are no longer needing to use. So this would be an example of a unit that we are not yet to, and it is hidden. So you won't be able to see it on your stream, but the building is still there. This is something that did exist previously in our Blackboard Learn Classic, but is a little bit easier to navigate and to utilize moving forward. To examine a section a little bit closer, we'll look back at that same Union Challenged unit. Notice I have that visual icon, I have my compelling question and my brief summary in the module itself. Now when I open it up, I can see that I've condensed down the number of things that are in here, and they are no longer individual items. If I start with this lesson overview, I have a document here, and within here I have that compelling question as well as my slides on a single document. If I keep going through, I can see I have the PDF and an activity that we did as a class that is its own activity. The form still exists as its own. And instead of having a variety of different assignments just scattered throughout, I've been able to condense this down into my two assessments or my two assignments in a single folder rather than throughout the entire module. That is the same with most of these other units as well. You can see everything has been set to be a little bit more streamlined, so it is not quite as long and arduous for students or teachers to access the information that they need. As you go through, you can click through and see what resources are available to students, how things are organized, and how we might consider rebuilding and shifting that mindset of what Blackboard is and how it is currently used to what we could be using it for and how to navigate it as we make all of these transitions within our district. If at any point you have questions or concerns about this transition, we encourage you to reach out to your ITC team member. We are here to support you.